ghosts and ghouls, Warlock Boo here. And today, I got an interesting show to review. This one's an anime, and I know I don't review animes a lot because people like to flag me and try to claim I stole their content when I review anime. So if you want to know, that's why I'm going to may have just the manga pictures popping up here, or still images from the show. Because I don't want to get flagged again. But enough of that. Today I will be reviewing The Ancient Magus Bride. I hope I said that right. Now, what is The Ancient Magus Bride, you may ask? Because it's been popping up randomly a lot on ads, on YouTube, on all kinds of things. The Ancient Magus Bride is an anime, an adaptation from a manga, and has been proven to be really popular. What it's about is a girl that is what is called a slave addie. I think I may butcher some of these words and misremember how they're said. But she's a creature, she is a human that fairies and fays are connected to. They want to make her happy. They want to do things for her. Unfortunately, trying to make her happy and make things better sometimes is not always the same as how we would see to make things better. So she's had a rough life, and on top of that, she sees these creatures, and not a lot of people can. And it's kind of messed with her head a bit. Now, her name is, I may butcher this, because I'm not real good with some of the names on this, but her name is, Chice is her name, I think. I may butchered this. I am sorry if I did. But she is a young woman, a young red-headed woman, which they say is rare for a mage to have red hair. I don't know why, they just do. That, as I said, she is a slave addie with these powers. She is ready to end everything. Her family's died. They didn't care about her. She does not have any happy memories. She's been passed around from family to family, and she's not been happy. She suffers strongly from depression and all this stuff. Well, a man from this group that auctions off rare creatures says, well, if you're going to kill yourself, why not just give your life to someone else? So she makes a deal, and they auction her off as a slave to someone. This is where Elias, I'm butchering these names. I am sorry. I watched it, I heard all the names, and then when I got to say them, I can't say it. Elias buys her. He just appears in the auction hall. He's about 7 feet tall, with a dead cow skull for a head and burning eyeballs. So he is terrifying. He was dressed in a nice suit with a cane, though. So he's a fashionable, terrifying type of guy. And he buys her. He buys her to be his apprentice. And not just that, he buys her to be his future wife. And not just that, he has a lot of reasons for buying her. He buys her because he doesn't understand humans. He loves humans. He thinks they're amazing. He wants to be like a human. But he doesn't understand us. He doesn't know why we do what we do. He doesn't know how we feel. He is numb to some of these feelings. But he does try to understand it. And in a lot of ways, he reminds me of Data from Star Trek Next Generation. Someone that's not human, but wants to be. That wants to understand how we feel, how we do these things, why we feel and act the way we do. And I like that. Now, he's a bit more emotional than Data. Not strongly, as some of it you aren't always sure if he's really feeling these emotions or if maybe it's just him acting. But there are times you are sure he is feeling this. He starts to bond really closely with Chice really quickly. The two of them become inseparable. And Chice really starts to change. She is a nervous person at first. She just does whatever she's told, listens to the rules, and does as she's said. But she starts to become more outspoken. She starts to become more stronger, tougher, doing her own things, being rash at times. And her biggest problem, though, is she is afraid Elias will just abandon her, like everyone else has. And she's telling herself she's okay with that, but she's not. She's scared of it. She is terrified of that. Now, some of the other characters in this are great. You have one character who doesn't come until about halfway through, but he is a very important character. You see, there are three types of mages in this world. There are mages, which can use natural power that they have to do great feats. You have alchemists who force their power out, ripping apart nature to do their feats. Neither are bad. Neither are bad. They go on to show you that neither are bad things. Both are just different ways of doing it. And then you have one they mentioned but they haven't shown that I've seen called con men, which apparently can see it and just pretend to be able to do it. I'm not exactly sure. They mention it briefly. Now, a lot of the mages, to help them, have two very important items. They have a wand. The wand can be used to make spells, make magic, all kinds of different things like that. And then they have their familiars. Their familiars are animal companions that they bond their life to help connect their power, combine their power. One watches for the other one, and the other one lets the familiar feed from their power and keep them in check. Now, the familiar we get to see is Ruth. Ruth becomes Chase's familiar halfway through the series, and he is such a great character. He is kind of like the older brother, the protective older brother. His form is that of a graveyard protecting dog, a grim, a giant black dog, if you're familiar with the myths that protect graveyards or sign doom, and that's her familiar. He can take on a human form. I'm not going to go into detail on what his story is, but it is such a good character. He can have sometimes the moments that we all want to say in this, but he says it, and it's just so funny. But his story is so sad. It made me cry so much. Oh, this whole show altogether made me cry. The next character we have is Silver. Silver is kind of the landlady where they live. I'm not really sure what she is yet, but she doesn't talk. She's just does the housework, but she can be very protective of people. She can be quite hilarious too. Without ever talking, she will put on some just hilarious little jokes without talking, or just do some little funny things. And she can be quite funny. She can be quite a good character, and just nice. I like the character that she doesn't talk, and they use that a lot. Then we have well, I'm not really going to go into most of the other characters because they are kind of more side characters that we don't get to see a lot. I'm going to go into real quick how the story is in this. Now, the story in this, think Full Metal Alchemist crossed with a love story. Instead of being about two brothers that tamper with nature, it's now about two people in love that are tampering with nature. It really has a strong Full Metal Alchemist feel to it. And Full Metal Alchemist is probably my favorite anime of all time. So this has a strong feel of it, and I like that for this. It is obviously very different. Has strong emotional, some great action scenes. A lot of mystery built up that I don't think you'll ever get answered some of the questions. Like, for instance, who is Elias? They hint at that he's not human, but he's not anything else. He's something between, and that's why he doesn't know what he does. There's another character that comes in that they hint is similar to him, but looks human. You'll have to watch. I'm not going to break any of these. I'm going to mention on some stories. The story way this progresses is just little chapters, it feels like. Little stories that connect to a greater story, with the characters evolving as they go through this story, and you learning more about them. My favorite so far is the Queen of Cats story. It's not called that, but it was one scene near the end made me cry so badly. My wife had to ask if I was okay. Then because I'm just watching this on my phone. She doesn't know what the heck I'm looking at. Then another one is when that made me cry was with Ruth. A lot of these scenes just are so well put together, so beautiful. And one thing I have got to give you everyone some kind of credit on is they have one character. Again, I'm not going to go into all of this, but he's kind of an elf, and his voice apparently translates into sings or something. Well, he does his magic through singing, you find out. He's also the keeper of this dragon field. Well, in it, I watched the dub, so this impressed me a lot. They have him sing, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't the dubber's voice, because I think it was in Japanese, or Latin maybe. But if it was the original Japanese singing they put in, oh my god, they got someone to dub this character that his voice sounds like he should be the one singing, even if he's not. That is some nice little detail there, and it's just something that threw me away. I love that little thing, and that was such a fun detail. How is the action in this? The action is slow, but it can be good. Again, in the King of Cat storyline, there is some really neat action, but I can't go into it without without taking too much out. But the action is good, but very slow. So if you want a fully action series, this isn't it for you. This is a very emotional show, a show that you watch, and you will end up crying, even if you're like, oh, no show's made me cry. You'll leave this crying. The series is beautifully done, and the characters are so fun. Pan Pizza said something once, and it has stuck with me. Characters, to be good, aren't always the type. You shouldn't make your characters for the show. They should be characters that could just be anywhere, and you could just be happy listening to them talk. Just their conversations, you're going, they're so interesting. And that's the kind of character you want. A character that could fit in any scenario, work well together, and just hear them talk. And that's why I like them. They work so well. So great. It's just such a nice thing. Even the little characters are interesting. You want to know more about them, why they do what they do. And it's a good series for that. Now, the music in the series it's fantastic. I love the first theme song in it. It was amazing. The songs in it, everything just clicks together and works so well. The dub is very well voice acted. There's a few that I'm like, but it is a phenomenally voice acted. So if you aren't big into subs, I suggest the dubs. It's on Crunchyroll right now that I know of, and Funimation, so check that out. It is a beautiful series, and I strongly am going to suggest this. Now, the artwork, as you can see, is fantastic. The characters pop out. They look so neat, so interesting. You want to know even about the little side characters you see. You want to know about this world. There's so much of this world you don't know about, how it works, how it bends to Mage's will. It is such an interesting thing. What are these people capable of? Because they will do things you're like, they can do that? And they'll be like, I could do that? Why didn't I do that before? It's such a neat thing. Now, I'm going to leave this here, and I strongly suggest this. I suggest this with so much. If you like dark animes, you'll like this. If you like emotional animes, you'll like this. If you like story-driven animes, you will like this. If you like comedies, you will like this. If you like slice of life, you will like this. This is an anime for so many different people, and you will like the characters. You will like them in so many ways. So I give this you should view rating. I don't actually have a rating system except view or don't frickin' view. Or it was okay. But yes, look into this. You will like it. And if you like this review, tell me down below. If there's something you want to review, tell me down below. Now, I'm going to be working on a project. It may come out this month, next month, at the latest, the month after, I doubt that. It's a big collaboration between me, Shadow Reader, and Psycho Cat. Now, when I do this, I will not have reviews for 3 weeks. Specifically because this project's going to be so big, and it's 3 freaking weeks long, so you get a lot of different kind of content. Now, you will start seeing a skit pop up on each of our channels to kind of get our viewers to notice this. It will end with each week with a top 10, and it will have a whole connecting story between the 3 weeks. And you guys should like this. But when it comes out, I hope you like it and I hope you view it. But until then, this has been Warlock Bill, hoping to be spoken y'all later. Bye.